Good afternoon. This is White Raptor News Ministries. All praise and glory to the mighty Most High, the Supreme Spirit, who is one, the authority, the rider, the Almighty, the all you can see, the all you cannot see, the principle, the mighty one, the self-existing, perpetual, always in motion, the master of the universe, the creator, something that was never creation, but the creator. Give praise to your creator. Love him, call on him, ask him to remove the sin and iniquity that you have engaged with, and to protect you from all that is evil on the plane of existence, this plane of existence. You are in a spiritual war for your body, for your soul, excuse me. And this is a very serious game, okay? If you get yourself killed participating in, a drug invasion, then more than likely you are going to be met with reincarnation, another incarnated body, or possibly even a place that they call the lake that burns with fire and brimstone. I'm not here to scare anybody into anything. I'm just here to let people know that you are a creation and you have been given choice on this plane of existence, whether you would like to serve your flesh or to not serve yourself and your flesh, but to serve the Spirit of truth, the living God, the mighty one. All praise goes to him. Thank you for joining me. Okay, we're here at Deuteronomy, chapter 15, moving forward. At the end of every 7 years, you must cancel debts. Boy, if that was only the case with me. I have a student loan, an outstanding student loan. So they say, in the amount of, the loan back when I took it in 86 was like $6,500. They've been sending me these loan debt relief clinics all the time. Yeah. The debt right now today with accrued interest on that loan from 1986 to today is well over $11,000 in interest. How do you get $11,000 interest on a $5,000 debt or even a $6,000 debt? Isn't it just a beautiful way to write this stuff up? So yeah, it would be a blessing for me if everybody's debt was erased at the end of 7 years. Do you suppose maybe this is why credit card companies and lawyers say that if you're in default or bankruptcy or something like that, that it's on your record for 7 years? This is how it is to be done. Every creditor shall cancel any loan they've made to a fellow Israelite. Well, if you're giving credit to a fellow Israelite, is that credit that you're giving to your fellow Israelite on usury? Are you charging him a commission? Are you charging him a point? If so, then you are in error. They shall not require payment from anyone among their own people, because the Lord's time for canceling debt has been proclaimed. You may require payment from a foreigner, stranger, beast, demon, devil, giant, whatever you want to call it. That's what they're talking about. Troops of animals, flights of locusts. That's what foreigners are. But you must cancel any debt your fellow Israelite owes you. Well, that's pretty cool. Naturally, no Gentile on this face of the earth is going to give you a break. No, they're gonna stick that bar so far up your rear end that you're gonna bleed dollar bill signs from your eyes. However, there need be no poor people among you. For in the land of the Lord your God is giving you to possess as your inheritance, he will richly bless you. If only you fully obey the Lord your God and are careful to follow all these commands I am giving you today, for the Lord your God will bless you as he has promised, and you will lend to many nations, but will borrow from none. lend to many, borrow from none. You will rule over many nations, but none will rule over you. Well, we're into the 5th book of Moses right here. And for the life of me, nowhere in this book have I ever seen that Israel ruled Edom. Now, it might have been in my time, but wouldn't that have to also be part of the story that you believe and that you richly desire and that you know in your heart to be true? Or is something a little bit off here? Because Edom, Jacob's brother Esau, never once bowed to Jacob. Jacob was the one that fled from his brother. Jacob was the one that created wealth for him and his family. Jacob was the one that blessed Esau. Jacob was the one that fell from the camel to his face down to the ground before Esau. So when has Jacob ever ruled Edom? Is it possible that Edom, this place here that we live in, can never be controlled by something that's good if this plane of existence is evil? It's only a question. Ask yourselves questions, folks. What's important for you to know? Because when you walk in the truth, there is nothing more powerful or beautiful. So you will rule over the nations, but none will rule over you. Well, it seems to me that the United Nations all seem to be ruling over Israel and what's going on over there in that province of land today. If anyone is poor among your fellow Israelites in any of the towns of the land your God is giving you, do not be hard-hearted or tight-fisted towards them. Don't be greedy to your brother. Love him, man. Something's happened, folks, and I just would like there to be more love on this place. And it's an eternal fight within each and every one of us that we have to deal with. Okay? You have to find love in your heart, man. Forgiveness in your heart. You have to drop your ego. You have to stop thinking, well, I'm better than they are, because nobody knows what's happened in another person's life. No one knows if a son or a daughter has been raped or molested by one of their parents or an uncle inside of the household. Nobody knows these things. And these things here, they cause problems internally with the family. So we can't be like that. Rather, be open-handed and freely lend them whatever they need. Well, the Bible also says, man, that when you lend something out, don't expect it back. So if you're going to give something out to somebody, always give it out with the intention that you're not going to get it back, because more than likely, you're not going to get it back. Be careful not to harbor this wicked thought. The 7th year, the year for canceling debts, is near. Well, it's near every 7 years. So that you do not show ill will towards the needy among your fellow Israelites and give them nothing. They may then appeal to the Lord against you, and you will be found guilty of sin, giving generously to them and do so without a grudging heart. Then because of this, the Lord your God will bless you in all your work and in everything you put in your hand to do. There will always be poor people in the land. Therefore, I command you to be open-handed towards your fellow Israelites who are poor and needy in your land. Now, notice this is being differentiated between Israel, once again, and Gentile. And I'm telling you that as these commandments are given to the Israelites, so they shall also be for the Gentile. That you should be open-handed, that you should be kind in all your ways, that you should be loving, and that you should be giving, and that no one should look down on another person because of the suit that they are wearing. Okay? Excuse me. So be kind and loving and tender and warm, inviting, giving to those that are in need. But I do have a problem here, because if the supreme Spirit of God is omnipotent, then why are there poor people? Why aren't all Israelites equal? Why don't they all own a home? Why don't they all have a mill? Why don't they all have shoes on their feet? Why is this level between Israelites exist? Do you believe in the kingdom of heaven, the spiritual world outside this plane of existence, that one Israelite is more important than another Israelite? That a rich Israelite that has done well for himself, been a good servant of the Most High all his spiritual life, is better than one that is poor and has loved the Most High and served and worshiped the Most High all his life? Do you think the prayers of that rich man are better than the prayers of that poor man? I say not. Freeing servants. Okay. Therefore, hold on, give me 1 second. God bless you and all the work and everything you do and put your hands to. There will always be poor people in the land. So you're never going to get away from it. Freeing servants. If any of your people, Hebrew men or women, sell themselves to you and serve you 6 years, in the 7th year you must let them go free. Now this is a condonement of slavery, that it's all right for you to sell yourself into slavery. I don't know. That kind of sounds odd to me, folks. I don't believe in any kind of slavery. I believe that if everything was just equally yoked with one another and everybody served and worshiped the Spirit, then we'd all be one. And that we wouldn't need anybody to rule or control or to stand over us. And when you release them, do not send them away empty-handed. Supply them liberally from your flock, your threshing floor, and your winepress. Give to them as the Lord your God has blessed you. Remember that you were slaves in Egypt, and the Lord your God redeemed you. That is why I give you this command today. Understand, folks, that evil is both that on this plane of existence, that it was the tree of knowledge of good and evil. I hear people saying all the time that good doesn't exist on this plane of existence. That is false. Good does exist on this plane of existence. You just don't see it as often as you see the evil, because it's nothing but the evil that they're shoving down your face in television and Hollywood, the smartphones, these devices. Everything is death, everything is LBGTQ&A, everything is off, everything is stealing. They're showing you people, you understand that these are a hive. There isn't a class of people that are sitting around inside their classrooms and they're all nodding each other saying, yeah, we're going to go fucking nail Rossless today. We're going to go steal, we're going to go invade as a group and steal a whole bunch of stuff. Well, if that's the case, man, and the minute you see people coming in and stuffing shit like that, then an emergency door should be shut down. And everybody that's in there should go to jail. Why make this so complicated? Because that's what these people do. They create this reality construct of material wealth, and then they sell it to you, and none of it's really even needed, folks. Okay? But if your servants say to you, I do not want to leave you, because he loves you and your family and is well off with you, then take an awl and put it through the earlobe into the door, and he will become your servant for life. Do the same for your female servant. So, I've read this so many times, and every time I read it, it makes the hairs stand up on my back. What person in their right mind, in right frame of mind, would want to be a slave to anyone? Right? Send me on my way. I'm done slaving. I'm going to build my own home. I'm going to go out in the wilderness. I'm going to make my own little stick hut. I'm going to make my own food. I'm going to make my own trail. I'm going to make my own family. Do not consider it a hardship to set your servant free, because their service to you these 6 years has been worth twice as much as that of a hired hand. And because it's free, slavery is somebody else making great deeds off the slavery and labor and sweat and tears of your back for free. All he got to do is set you up inside of a roof over your head, give you food and clothing and shoes, and that's what you got. That's what you got from your servant. And then you want to stay with somebody who made you poor, who created this reality, this false construct in the first place, and place themselves above you. Okay? These people that started this monetary system, you got to understand, they printed out a hell of a lot more free money for themselves than they trickled down to the masses. The firstborn animals, set apart for the Lord your God every firstborn male or your herd and flocks, of your herd and flocks. Do not put the firstborn of your cow to work, and do not shear the firstborn of your sheep. Each year you and your family are to eat them in the presence of the Lord your God at the place he will choose. Is this still taking place today? Does Israel have a place today where God will choose? Is this taking place at all? If an animal has a defect, it is lame or blind, or has any serious flaws, you must not sacrifice it to the Lord your God. You are to eat it in your own towns. Both the ceremonially unclean and the clean may eat it, as if it were a gazelle or a deer, but you must not eat the blood. Pour it out on the ground like water. Okay, and that is Deuteronomy chapter 15. I need everybody to understand that I love God's chosen children, okay? And that could be anybody. It could be anyone. But I'll tell you who are not God's chosen children. They're those that worship other gods and place other gods beside God. They're the 33 different million godless people in this world that we live in that worship other gods or place gods beside gods. Remember, folks, that these fairy tales that they're telling us are all about our spiritual generation, like Pinocchio. Pinocchio was a wooden little boy, and he wanted to be a living little boy. In order to be a living little boy, you have to do certain things before the spirit can be upon you. That's what the whole story about Pinocchio is all about. It's about the spiritual growth. Also with Jack and the Beanstalk, he steals the golden egg, remember? The golden goose. And the golden goose is laying the golden eggs, and the golden egg is a representation of the pineal gland. And what does Jack do on Jack and the Beanstalk? He steals the stuff, and apart from that, he chops down the beanstalk and kills the giant. So these stories, these little fairy tale stories that they're giving us and reading to us as children, are far deeper and darker in meaning than the masses understands. You must understand that this Bible here is a book of riddles. And I refuse, myself, to refuse any God that places any people into slavery and then tells you to kill people, tells you not to kill people, tells you to wander in the desert for 40 years, tells you to this. This is God, Yahweh, and we've all learned that Yahweh is a man, and anything that is flesh, you got to understand at some point in time of creation, there was something that was given power to materialize this world. Revelations 13:15 Bible Hub. It was permitted, folks. The second beast was permitted to give breath to the image of the first beast. So you have two beasts right here. You have a second beast and a first beast. When's the first time that beast is used in the Bible? Genesis 1:25. God created the beasts of the field, each according to their kind. What does it mean? God created the United Nations, each according to their kind. So the second beast was permitted to give breath to the image of the first beast so that the image could speak and cause those who refused to worship it to be killed. So a beast was permitted. A divinity was permitted. What do I mean? John chapter 1 verse 1 Bible Hub. Okay, I teach you guys the definition of God. Just because the word God is spoken in the Bible doesn't mean that they're talking about the supreme God. It could be a deity God or divinity of God or a theos of God. It could be another God. In this case here, 23:16, it is a deity God. You understand? In the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with God, and the Word was God. God in this parable is a magistrate, and a magistrate is mankind. It is figuratively a divine spirit of the Supreme Spirit. This God here considers itself the supreme divinity. Divinity has D-I-V-I-N, divide, as in to divvy up. So the Supreme Spirit of truth allowed this God, this magistrate, this judge, this man, this mankind who considers himself to be God, is the divinity of the supreme God, which is different from this God here, Genesis chapter 1, verse 1 Bible Hub. Remember, both of these parables here are in the beginning because they deal with the beginning. Why? Because Jesus is the beginning. In the beginning, this God here is Elohim. Elohim is a plural of Eloah. It's gods in the ordinary sense, but specifically used of the supreme spirit of truth. This is the one that permitted a second beast to breathe into the image of the first beast so that it could speak and cause those that didn't worship it to be killed. This God Elohim is plural of Eloah. Plural is many gods. The 33 million other gods on this plane of existence that you're worshiping, that you're not worshiping the Supreme Spirit. So I hope this helped you. All praise and glory to the mighty Most High, the Spirit, the Supreme Spirit, the living God. All right? You must understand that there is a one God that is a living, okay? And all things that are living go through the living God. And then there are other gods that are all of the dead. Everything is of the dead. They're the walking dead. And they're telling you in Hollywood that you are the zombie apocalypse. It's you that worship other gods. You are the walking dead. I hope this helps you. Peace. This is White Raptor News Ministries.